I'm Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley, right now in Matlacha, one of the many natural gems here in Southwest Florida. April is Earth Month, a time to reflect on our relationship with the planet and talk about what we can do to protect it. Here in Southwest Florida, our connection with nature includes everything from the health of our mangroves to the importance of control burns, to the ways wildlife is adapting to our changing planet. So all month long, I'll be taking you to different, somewhat remote parts of Southwest Florida to explore our connection with and our relationship to this part of our Earth. Mangroves have been part of Florida's history for thousands of years and impacted by numerous hurricanes. This particular mangrove stand around me impacted by Hurricane Ian. I spoke to researchers to find out how it's recovering. Hurricane Ian. We all remember the damaging storm surge that decimated our coastline. But when FGCU professors Brian Brevard and Wynn Everham returned to a mangrove island they've been studying pre-storm, they thought that same surge protected the mangroves.
And when we came out the week after the storm hit, we had noticed that the trees had leaves on them from about where that storm surge was all the way down to the forest floor. And then above that line, all of the leaves had been blown off by the wind from the storm.
But as the weeks went by, the science only evolved. The mangroves weren't protected by the surge, but experienced a delayed mortality because of it.
In areas where sediment had been deposited on the forest floor, the trees were beginning to die off.
That die-off can be seen in these drone images taken before the storm, in October right after, and then again last February. But now we're starting to see regrowth within that mortality.
And then the areas where the sediment was deposited, we pretty much have a ghost forest out here with a carpet of young trees that are now starting to come up.
That carpet full of red, black, and white mangrove seedlings.
You now have no leaves in the canopy, which means that more sunlight is getting down to the propagules that are on the forest floor. You have sediment that may be serving as maybe some fertilizer for the system.
It could take years for the mangroves to fully recover from Ian, but will it recover ahead of the next hurricane? That is something that Dr. Everham thinks about a lot.
The trees were adapted to recover, otherwise they wouldn't be here, right? But if their adaptations drove them to a recovery that took 30 years, and we started having a hurricane every 10 years, something's going to happen out there. And my concern would be we exceed their capacity to recover. Under those conditions, are there things we can do to speed their recovery? We should be asking those questions.
Those are the questions that become more important with our changing planet.
If we lose these coastal systems, then we're certainly going to be more vulnerable to the next Ian.
But it's not just the next Ian we have to worry about.
But I think well before that, you're going to see changes in water quality that we're going to find unacceptable. If we start having red tides every year, if we start having dead fish on our beach every year, we don't want to live here and our economy won't survive that. We need those mangroves. We protect mangroves, they protect us. And we need to understand them more fully so we can do a better job of protecting them.
In Estero Bay, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, Fox 4.